wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So I am back with another video and I'm annoyed. The girlies are getting on my nerves again, and I was thinking about it recently, and I turned 30 in about a little over 2 months, right? And I was thinking I want to do a video on things that I learned in my 20s, especially this last year of my 20s, and I can start now early on that, because one thing that I have learned is that I don't like y'all. I really don't like a lot of y'all, and I'm becoming content with that. I'm becoming okay with realizing that a lot of you are annoying. If you guys want to know what I am talking about, let's go. So if this is your first time hearing about the situation, there is a content creator that they are currently turning every which way but loose on just about every app, because she decided she was going to make a video, and in the beginning of the video basically says that it is better to have a white, and I'm saying it that way for a reason, following than a black following. Now, this is the first time you've heard about the situation and you heard what I just said. Did you immediately think to yourself, this content creator is not black? Because if you did, you would be wrong. Yes, a black woman fixed her lips on social media to say that it is better to have a white following than a black one. Now, at the time that I saw this video, she had somewhere around a little over 129,000 followers, which you could say is a pretty decent follower count, right? And you guessed it, a majority of them were black. Now, of course, there's a lot you could say just from that one video, but she did post follow-up videos that I watched, because you're like, okay, well, maybe she's gonna clean up what she said a little bit, because there's no way you could post a video like that and think that's gonna go over well for you, right? But no, if anything, the follow-up videos made it worse. And in one of them, what she was really upset about came out, right? Because if you let people like that just keep talking, they usually let you know what it is that they are really making statements like that for. So basically, what she's mad about is she posted one sponsored video by Macy's, and it did not perform to how she expected it to perform, how she would have liked it to perform. And instead of doing any type of like self-reflection on why it might have performed that way, she immediately went to not just the black women that follow me do not support each other, but black people in general do not support each other, are overly critical, are mean, are this, that, and the third. And every time y'all start talking like that, every time y'all start making statements like that, it just lets me know that you do not have any type of proximity to other demographics. Like it just shows that you guys do not speak to other communities. You guys are not as diverse, not as worldly as you would like to make it seem that you are. Because if you were, there's no way y'all would say a lot of the things that y'all swear only black people do, and you usually say it in a way as it's not a good thing, right? It's something bad that only black people do. Y'all know I am from New York, and I lived in the city and Long Island. So I've had the experience of the melting pot that is New York City, that people swear is all of New York. And I done lived in the suburbs of Long Island. So if you know, you know. And so when y'all make the statement like, oh, only black women spend such absurd amount of money on their hair and blah, 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 that just lets me know you have never walked into a hair salon that caters to other demographics, because there's no way you listen to what it costs for them to get their hair colored, extensions, simple haircuts. Okay, when I was living in Long Island, it was very last minute. I could not get the girl that usually did my braids in Long Island. I couldn't get an appointment with her, so I had to look around. I was gonna try it. You know, went to a salon. Woman told me for 2 cornrows, 2 straight back. Okay, I just need to. She told me for 2 cornrows, it was going to be $89, and she's not going to wash my hair. I have to come with my hair washed and blow dried. And for 2, what do they call it? French Dutch braids, whatever it was going to be $89. So that's what I mean when I say, like, you're not as diverse as you think you are. You are not as knowledgeable about other communities, other cultures as you swear that you are, because a lot of the things that you often condescendingly say are problems that only black people, you know, make a problem, or only black people have to deal with. if you actually did speak to other people, especially other minority groups, you would know that they deal with the same exact thing. So in this instance, to say that because your little video flopped means that it's because Black people don't support each other, they're stingy with who they follow, they'll follow you, but they won't engage with your content, they won't like your content, they won't do any of that, and that is just it's a Black problem. I feel like Taylor Swift would say otherwise. I feel like Miley Cyrus would say that. And even going away from big like celebrities who deal with it and just going back to other influencers, baby, do you think it was the Black community who was on Jaclyn Hill's ass because she jumped in her pool in her red bottoms? Okay, it was not the Black community that looked up Casey Holmes' marriage license and revealed that she was married before she was ready to do that. And do you think that it was the Black community that had James Charles all over TV, all over this type of thing because out of the numerous scandals that he was in? Every time there was some type of scandal gate in the beauty community, who was it on? And who were the main people that were feeding into it? Out of the big non-Black creators out there, their biggest criticizers, the biggest people that were gunning for them during those scandals are people who were of the same demographic as they are. Do you think a non-Black creator has never had a post flop? Do you think a non-Black creator has never gotten online and said, I've been doing this for 11 years and people don't give me the followings that I feel I deserve because of how long I've been doing this? And you know what? Because I've definitely seen it. They've definitely done it. But you know what I've never seen? I've never seen one of them get online and say, you know, the people that follow me are not giving me what I deserve, what I am entitled to. So I feel like it's better to have a different demographic, especially this demographic. I never heard one of them get on here and start pandering and saying, since my following is not doing it for me, I feel like it would be better for me if I had a Black following. I never heard one of them say that, but y'all be saying stuff like this often, and okay. And let me just get this out of the way right now. You're not entitled to anything. You are not entitled to being an influencer. You are not entitled to set up an account and start posting content online, and automatically that means that you are entitled to people following you, and you are entitled to people trusting you, to influencing them on what they're going to buy, where they're going to travel, what they're going to eat. You are not entitled to any of that just because of how you look, how you talk, what you say, any of that. And that is what I was saying in that other gatekeeping influencer video that I posted, that y'all don't understand that not only is this a job, but words have meanings, and y'all don't actually want to be influencers. You want the perks that come with it. You don't want the actual experience of being an influencer, because if you did, you would understand how to be one. You are the influencer. You are the one who is supposed to be showing people why you should influence them. You are the one who is supposed to be building an audience that can see your content and say, baby, I don't care what it is, what time it is. If they post, I'm gonna like it, I'm gonna comment, I'm gonna engage with it so that they can get their pay, because that's what this is about. This is about your little video flopping. That is what you are supposed to be doing. Now, yes, we can acknowledge that if your hair doesn't look a certain way, if you talk a certain way, if you look a certain way, if you like or if you don't like things that do or don't go against what the, common Black community likes, yes, they might make fun of you. They might make you feel like, you're not Black enough. That does happen. They do that. But you know what also happens a lot of the time? A lot of the time, the people who get on here and start preaching that, the Black community doesn't accept them, makes them feel like they're not Black enough, blah, 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 blah. A lot of the times, the problem with y'all is that y'all are anti-Black. And you make anti-Black statements. You have anti-Black views that you then go project onto the Black community. And then you're surprised when the Black community turns around and treats you like an outsider. Baby, you put yourself on the outside looking in. And you can usually spot the people, you can usually spot the difference. You can usually tell the person who is just being their Black self, who might be different than what the common Black experience is, and people are ganging up on them, people are being mean to them for no reason. And the person who is anti-Black but still wants to be in the Black community while speaking down on the Black community, she chose her words very carefully in the initial video that she chose her words very carefully in every video that she uploaded, which is why, I said it's very easy to spot. In the videos where she was trying to clean it up, she went on to say, oh, well, I was just saying that, because what she said originally was, it's better to have a white following than a black one. And if you haven't caught on yet, that is literally how she's saying it every time she says it. She can't even say the demographic that is, as a black woman, she can't even say the demographic that she believes it is better to have a following of, but she got all that venom in her chest when it's time to say black in every video that she uploaded, right? She tried to clean it up a little bit by saying that what she meant was it's better to have a more diverse audience, a more mixed audience, that if you really want to make it, you need to build an audience that goes outside of your same demographic. And she name dropped some creators in that video because she said, you guys wonder why we don't have, you know, a black Alex Earl. That was a debate earlier this year. Or, you know, a Jaclyn Hill, a Nikki Tutorials, a Michaela, I don't remember her last name, but she's a big TikToker. And she name dropped some black influencers. She name dropped that one black influencer whose name is almost always mentioned in these type of discussions, that big OG beauty guru, black guru. And she also named a black TikToker who, like, she built her platform, she made it successful, all that stuff, mainly off of TikTok. So she's a little bit more recent of a big black successful creator. And she said that basically they are where they are because of having, you know, more mixed followers, stuff like that. Both of those creators responded to her, where both of them basically said, baby, first of all, keep my name out this, okay? This ain't got nothing to do with me. And also both of them said that a majority of their following are black, like they are. A majority of their support comes from black women. The women who buy the stuff that the products that they release are black women. The people who come up to them and see them in person and, oh my God, can I get a picture, are black women. So keep me out of this, because while yes, I am very open to having people who are not of the same demographic following me, I know where home is at. Okay, so don't include me in this mess. And just a small little piece of irony there. It is very ironic that you are name dropping black creators in a video where you're talking about how black people don't support each other, and you don't support the black followers that you named. Because not only do you not follow them, but one of them, you quite literally mispronounced her name every time that you said it. And if you did follow and support them, you wouldn't be pushing this narrative of how they got to where they are and what their demographics look like. Because if you were part of that demographic, then you would know. If you were part of their communities, you would have known that about them. So the irony in using them as examples as to why it's better to have a mixed following when you, the black woman, also do not support those black women. Just some small irony. But back to how her words were chosen very carefully when she made her original video. You didn't say it's better to have a mixed following. You need a more diverse following if you want to be successful. Not only did you say that it is better to have one demographic over the other one, you then went on in the video to criticize specifically one demographic on how they don't do this and they're mean and they're that and they're this, that, and the third. So you knew what you were saying when you did it. And in her follow-up videos, of course, she went to the, you know, you could guess defense attitude of, oh, well, y'all are just dense and y'all don't have the intellect to understand what I'm saying. And also, in a video that was deleted, she said something to the effect of, you are not going to stop her from saying what she has to say about the black community just because she doesn't talk like a black, she doesn't sound like a black woman. What you mean by that? What you mean by that? She said, oh, just because she sounds like a white woman, you're not going to stop her from speaking on the black community, blah, 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 blah. And I'm telling you, you just let them keep talking. They always gonna show you who they are, because what does a black woman sound like? What does a white woman sound like? What does that mean you don't sound like that's exactly what I just said. A lot of you put yourself on the outside looking in and then swear that that's what the black community is doing to you. Because we all know what it means to sound like a black woman. And to say, it's one thing even if it's the black community that's saying that to you, yes, that is ignorant. If it's a non-black person saying that to you, babe, it's racist. But when you're the one saying it yourself, when you are the one who is making the generalization yourself, but then y'all want to turn around and say that it's the black community that's making you an outsider. No, baby, you see yourself on the outside. What are you talking about? Making a video like that directed at the demographic that is the actual one supporting you will just always be crazy to me. Because if that other demographic that was better to have was going to follow and support you, they would have done that. They would have already been there to support you when you posted that sponsored video, so that you wouldn't now be in your feelings. Because as much as the algorithm might be working against certain creators, baby, once that video hits 1 million, 3 million, 13 million views, the For You page is going to put it on everyone's For You page. Okay, they're going to give you that same access that they give to all the other creators a lot more easily. And you know what they're doing when you actually do land up on their For You page? They are scrolling by. That's why they are not currently part of your main demographic. That is why you have a main demographic that is one audience, because they've been exposed to you and you weren't for them. You didn't post content that was for them, so they kept scrolling. And that's what I'm saying when I say a little self-reflection needs to be had here. Because yes, the algorithm does work against a lot of creators. It's been written about, they have studied it, they've looked into it, and if you don't look a certain way, if you don't produce certain types of content, your content does get suppressed. So you have that working against you, right? And you also have the fact that sponsored content, it's a double-edged sword. Obviously, it's very beneficial for the content creator, and obviously there are people who see the content, they purchase the stuff, and it works out great for them. I can think of stuff that I purchased because someone else had a sponsored post about it. I purchased it too, and it worked out well for me. But obviously, a lot of people do not like sponsored content for very obvious reasons, right? So you already have your audience working against you because it is sponsored content. But you know what else you have working against you because it is sponsored content? The app itself. Once you put that hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, paid partnership label on your content, as a content creator, since it is your job, you should already know, baby, the video is not going to perform how your other videos perform, because the TikToks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, they do not want brands with that middleman of a content creator, because they know the brand is paying the content creator to post the content. These apps want the brand to pay the apps directly for advertisements. So, the little ads that you see when you're swiping in between the content, they want brands to pay for that directly. So when you use those tags, that stuff like that, the brand is already going to suppress your content because they've got paid advertisement from other brands who followed directions, who followed the rules that they are going to push first. So you should already know once you post it, it's not going to do well. And again, that's self-reflection. And what you also need to realize is you're not entitled to your following liking what it is that you made a sponsored post for. Because a lot of you make sponsored content on anything that'll pay you. It doesn't, again, self-reflection. Did you ever stop and think to yourself, well, gee, is there anything I did? Which is why this sponsored post didn't do as well. Once you take away the other factors of the actual app working against you, is there anything about me, how this ad was filmed, the actual thing that I'm advertising? Because if you never talk about fashion, if you never talk about beauty, if you never talk about hair, and then you go present that to an audience who isn't following you for that, common sense would say, well, yeah, maybe that is why they're not messing with this. And even if you do post content that relates to what you're advertising, maybe they just didn't like it. Maybe they weren't interested. Maybe they ain't got the pockets for that right now. And also, just because they weren't interested in it that moment doesn't mean the holidays are coming up. People might have a little bit more money, that they might not try it a month or two later, later. Now, we're not going to do any of that. We're not going to do any reflecting. We're not going to take any accountability, because it couldn't possibly something that I did, right? We're also not going to realize that that's just how it is in the game, and the check was going to clear regardless. And the next brand was going to come with the next check regardless. No, we're going to immediately go to blaming the demographic people that actually do support me because I didn't get my way. And that's what I just can't respect with a lot of y'all, that it's black when convenient, right? Black. I'm a proud black woman. Yeah, I support black people, black pride, blah, 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 blah. Until you don't get your way. Until the black community doesn't get you what you thought you deserved, what you think you're entitled to get. Until they don't get you where you think you should be at. And now all of a sudden it's the Black community doesn't do this, the Black community doesn't support, the Black community is so mean. All these generalizations out there that apply to plenty of other demographics, communities, cultures, all that stuff. As soon as you don't get your way, real quick to throw them under the bus, real quick to pander to other demographics. And I can't respect it. Now, I did come across a video of a man, he's a Black man, who said that he went to school with her and that he understands where she's coming from because, you know, it was a PWI. And he also had that mindset of, oh, well, the Black community is going to support me regardless, but the community that I really need to impress, that I really need to pander to, is the white demographic. And he was saying that, you know, it took some time for him to grow up and realize that at the first mistake, at the first time that he didn't do what they wanted him to do, or he didn't do this and he didn't do that, that they're real quick to replace him with the next person that's willing to pander this, blah, 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 blah. And that, you know, he had to grow up and diversify himself and realize that the Black community is always going to be there to catch you once you fall, and that people need to give her that same grace to understand that, and give her that same grace to get out of the mindset that she's currently in. No, you don't get to throw Black people, and in this case specifically Black women, under the bus because they're an easy target. Because let's face it, that's why you're doing it. That's why you were so confident in doing it, because you know Black people are an easy target. You don't get to throw out these stereotypes. You don't get to make these generalizations. Stand on it, and then when it doesn't work, say, okay, well, I'm still Black, so you got to be nice to me and how you address me and how you correct me, and you still have to support me after that. That's not how any of this works, because I guarantee you, if it had worked how she intended it to work, if she was able to make that flip that some people are able to make to a new demographic, and then numbers has started going up, if the response wasn't the response that she ended up getting and the one that she wanted, where people were like, yeah, you know, we need more people to be honest like you, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 wouldn't be no apology. She had already started to stand on what she was saying, because she was saying, well, y'all are just dense. And even the creators that she name dropped, when they responded to her, she was still arguing with them with like, I don't understand what's so hard for people to understand what I was saying. She was already standing on it. It wasn't until she saw that the Black community was also going to make her stand on it, and she also realized just how much of those other demographics do not mess with her like that, that she probably thought she would be able to flip the situation. Because baby, when I say I ain't seen nothing, no type of any other demographic, and really anyone within the same demographic saying, oh, you know what, you right, y'all right, y'all. I haven't seen that one viral video of anyone defending what she's saying. And if anything, that other demographic that she swears is better to have, what few that were following and supporting blah, 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 are the ones in the comments who are also saying, oh, nah, I gotta get up out of here. You talking crazy. This ain't nothing that I want to be associated with. I can't do this. If she had gotten the response that she wanted, it wouldn't be no apologies, no this, no that. So the whole, you got to give grace because she needs time and understanding, baby, which one is it? Okay, either you're so intellectual, you're so diverse that you know what's going on with other cultures and how it compares to the Black culture, and you're so smart to be able to put out these statements and say all of that, blah, 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 or you're not that smart. You're not as, you know, understanding, and you need growth, and you need people to explain to you this. It can't be both. You can't be coddled while also wanting to be the teacher. It doesn't work that way. So to wrap up this video, there's a lot of things we can learn here, because like I said in the beginning of this video, this is not something that people haven't said before. People usually don't say it as boldly as she did, but it's a conversation that people tiptoe around. And like I said, they tiptoe around it when they do not get their way, and when it's no longer convenient for them to have Black supporters. But let this be a lesson to the rest of you. This is the lesson on being grateful, and how a lot of you are ungrateful, because not just, you know, taking away not taking away, but moving away from the Black aspect of it, to the other creators who'll be making statements or posts about how, you know, people let their posts flop, and no one's supporting them, no one's watching them, and they're tired of making content. If no one's going to engage with it, I go look at the content, you know, I see like 20 likes. It might not be the amount of likes that you wanted, but to say that people are letting your post flop and no one's supporting you, what is it? ungrateful because someone still did. People did still engage with your content and support you, but because it wasn't the amount that you wanted, that wasn't good enough. It's ungrateful. And people don't like that. And that might be contributing as to why you're not growing. So that is it for this video. I just had to get that off my chest because, like I said, people are getting on my nerves and I don't like people. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like everything else that, you know, blows up and is trending in the social media world, will this pass? Of course it will. How she chooses to move forward with that will be up to her. But yeah, make sure to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.